My name is Sean Austin, and I am one of the lead investigators on Netflix's series 28 Days Haunted, and this is a continuation of the profound experiences I had filming the show that didn't make the cut. When I realized I was going to be part of the experiment known as 28 Days Haunted, and I was going to have to leave life behind for that amount of time, I thought of something that was precious to me because I had no communication with the outside world, no TV or internet or anyone that I care about. I thought about my guitar because before I got involved in the paranormal, my passion was writing and singing, creating music. So I took it with me. So while living at Captain Grant's Inn for those days, as it started to progress and we unraveled this mystery, being a part of this emotion, this energy that just circled the environment, that was living and breathing, I was part of it. I felt as if we were one of the earthbound spirits that were trapped there because all we were doing was investigating ghosts 24/7. There were 7 days a week. I was constantly communicating, engaging, and investigating ghosts. And this woman, Mercy Adelaide, the wife to Captain Grant, would come to me in the bed, which you see on the show 28 Days Haunted, and it went further than that. Than what you see. I really tapped into the emotion to what this poor woman went through when the captain had obviously gotten on a ship and took off and never came home. She never knew if he would come back tomorrow, next week, next month, or never at all. As I furthered myself in this journey, being a part of this documentary, this emotion, this connection to her started to deepen. We received many disembodied voices of EVPs of a woman saying she's here without her captain. When I saw her, she looked like an older lady with long gray hair.
Want to identify the lady with the long gray hair and the dark eyebrows. Is that Mercy? Yes or no?
And this is something that made sense to me at a later time, but it resonated. This emotion was just building within me. And when it came up to a moment when we were across the street where Mercy Adelaide is buried, this is when I had this vision that she would write these notes to her captain, almost poetically. I started to spur off what I believed that she was writing. And what she was saying were things like, I savor your lips with the breath of each day. Life is enduring without you. The wind is my only company. These are things that I started to say on camera, and this is something that started to create this profound connection between me and her. So after this happened, I went back to the house, and as a couple of days went by, I didn't think anything of it. Again, I had my guitar, so on my downtime, I'd go off by myself, whether in a part of the house or even in the backyard, sit on a bench and just play my guitar, because again, I had nothing like we do have during present day with things to connect and escape, like, you know, watching TV and being on the internet and so forth. So I came up with like 5 or 6 songs that, you know, just being creative, that's something that was my passion from before the paranormal. And one of these songs was very haunting. The chords and something just drew me to potentially write a song about her loss, because I felt like I was a part of that. Every day I was in that environment, I was feeling it. She was visiting me, and this connection, again, it was building and building from my insides on a soul level. And I said to everybody, you know what, when I get home, I think I'm gonna write this song. This song seems really haunting, and I'm gonna dedicate it to her and her loss of her captain, since this experiment and being so connected to the story, like we're living there with them. And I said to everyone that I think I'm gonna take some of the words that I believe she wrote in these letters to her captain and meld it with my own words and create this song. This was the plan. So I continued to play this song around the house, and I hummed a melody to this song. Again, off on my own, and I just had a melody. And that's usually how I write songs. I would just play the chords and do some humming. Now, this led up to a moment one night when I'm in this one individual room. Now, part of this you see on the show, but it goes further. So when I was sitting in that chair, the first thing that I saw was this vision as if I was maybe looking through her eyes. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it seemed like I was standing on the shore and I was watching this ship go off in the distance out into the deep sea. And I could see these two big rock boulders on the shore. And from there, she showed me a golden locket, and it opened up, and it was this young, beautiful woman. She was a brunette. In my downtime, and I'm being here for so many days, I brought my guitar because I'm a musician, and I've been playing around with so many song ideas to try to keep busy in my mind, dealing with all these spirits, and I played these chords that were so emotional to me, and it was haunting. And something popped into my head. I feel like I have to write this song about her loss of her captain. And I'm literally having this conversation, and like I could hear the melody of my song that I was just thinking about. I didn't write the lyrics for yet about it, and she was just, I could hear it in my head. She was like, that's, oh my God, it's crazy. Seeing this, it's just this realization was starting to unravel within me. Looking back at it as well, is that when she came to me in my bedroom, she was an older woman with long gray hair. And then she was, to me, she was showing me herself as a young, beautiful woman, and showing two stages of her life and how long she was sitting there living in that home and waiting for her captain to come home, which he never did. And her spirit, just the thought that she'd still be waiting for him. And, you know, finding out this information even later when we left the property, knowing, I mean, that, you know, her captain's buried next to her, but it's just a memorial. But she loved him so much that she even just wanted at least a memorial next to her where she was buried, because she was the love of her life. And now sitting in this chair as this continued, then all of a sudden she started to say to me, shipwreck, shipwreck. Now in this moment I started to have another vision of, I saw the back of a man's head. Now when you see psychic visions, it looks very blurry. It's like a bad documentary, and it looked like he was abruptly trying to change and turn the steering wheel on a ship. Now I don't know if it was a bad storm or if he hit a rock or something, but this is what she was saying to me as I was seeing this. Now from there, this emotion started to hit me. I started to feel a little sadness. This is where it actually connected to me. Now looking back as well, as I feel like that she related to me, because I went through something within the last year or so when I was on that property, a crazy strong spiritual connection with somebody, and it was like the heartache from it was like so profound on so many levels, and I was still dealing with it on that property and being isolated and by myself. I feel like that's part of the reason, or a factor at play, why she was connecting to me, because this heartache that she went through was for decades, until her last breath on this physical plane, and she still was dealing with it. This is where I was starting my emotion, and our emotions intertwined. This heartache, and it's the same type of feeling. We all go through this, and it's the worst type of pain, the loss of a loved one, whether it's from your own family, a child, or your love. And this is when it really just wrecked me. Out of nowhere, I literally started to hear the acoustic chords, the melody playing in my head. And this is when I literally started to sob. And I literally had to put my hands up, and I'm like, stop, I can't handle it. And you hear this on the recording. The chords are playing out like over my head. It's like making me really emotional. It's like, whew. Oh my God. I can hardly contain myself. It's really bad. I'm like right on the verge of like breaking down and crying, like extremely. Oh my God. I couldn't handle it, because the emotion, it took me over so much. I felt the decades of heartache, and it intertwined with heartache that I had had. And it was just like this explosion. And I had to get up from the chair, and I had to run downstairs to the side door and open up the door to get fresh air, to try to calm myself down, because I could not stop crying. I was just like this, I can't. Then this is when I heard her voice say to me, you were meant to come here. You captured my essence. And this went on for like 15, 20 minutes. And you know, the next morning I woke up. Now mind you, I had a recorder next to me on the bed when this was all taking place. And I'm listening to the recording. And I was shocked. On so many levels. I didn't even know what to do. I was speechless. Right before I'm explaining that I can hear the chords to the song that I'd come up with, that I was going to dedicate to her when I go home and finish this song, She is literally humming the melody to this song. Not even just one part, both parts. There's two parts in a melody. And I just lost it. I ran to my guitar, I recorded the two parts of the chords, and I put her EVP of her humming over the guitar. And I tried to remove noise from where her voice is humming this. And she's humming in perfect key to my guitar. Again, I was speechless, and I showed everybody. And just even talking about it, and even just in the moment, constantly, I had to stop because the tears, I felt the sadness. It was so crazy. So that night, when I was to pray for her and try to cross her over, the first thing that came through the spirit box, clear as day, which we'll play for you, is, Sean, I want to learn how to play the song.
Stand in there and I will play a song.
Something about play a song.
Stand in there and I will play a song.
It was so mind-blowing to me. And that's why I felt so compelled to leave flowers at that grave. My connection to her was so profound. And I knew in this experience was bigger than me. It's bigger than me, whatever I'm doing on whatever we're filming. And this story needs to be shared. Just think about the elements here. You're talking about telepathy, psychic ability, the afterlife, loving someone, yearning for someone, how powerful love is. And even after you pass away, and how much this woman was still yearning for her captain is so profound on so many levels. To think about that as I'm hearing the acoustic chords of a song that I came up with, and she's humming the melody, the intelligence of the spirit and the connection that I had was on another level, uncharted. I've never even heard of something like this happening before. And just like she said to me, you know, you were meant to come here. I felt like I had to share this story no matter what. When I was in front of that grave, I told her that I would write that song, that I would do it justice. And I was so thankful for this experience. As emotional and sad as it was, I wanted to do it even more. I felt like I was on a mission now. It wasn't just a thought, it was a mission. And the emotion, and even talking about right now, I get teary-eyed because it's so crazy. And that's what I did. I created this song and I named it Mercy, because that was her name. I took some of those words, and that's the beginning of the song, which you'll hear, and I melded it with my own lyrics. And if you think about the word mercy, it has dual meaning. It's like stop the pain. Stop the pain from happening. And I can't even fathom for someone to go through decades during that time period waiting for their love to come home and not knowing what happened to them, or if they might still come home or not at all. And I'll never forget the first night when I had the last mix of the song done, which I recorded down in Nashville from the producer. I sat there with my eyes closed and the headphones on. I had this vision of this woman in a green dress, and she gave me a curtsy. I just knew in that moment that was her saying thank you. Thank you for what you've done. It's a positive element with this. And just as the premiere of the show took place on that day, I took a nap later in the afternoon, and once again I had a vision of this woman in a green dress, and I saw her taking out this man by his arm, like as if out to the dance floor, and she raised up his arm over her and she spun around, and then he picked her up all in his arms, and I just had such a good feeling. And again, it made me like teary-eyed because I feel like she wanted to let me know that she reunited with her captain. The timing of this is just undeniable. To find out also that the captain had made a statement on the day that the house was built in 1754 was my birthday, February 13th. And here we are, my friend here, my good friend, a filmmaker. We're filming here in North Carolina to do it by the ocean because that's where he lives. And I'm sitting here looking at these articles, you just randomly, because we're just going over the history and just thinking about it, and Billy was curious. And to find out that the captain allegedly had passed at sea in a shipwreck off the shores of Cape Hatteras. Where is Cape Hatteras? It's about a few hours away from here in North Carolina. It's just like these strange synchronicities. It makes you wonder, and it takes me back to what she said, you were meant to come here. That's why I knew I wanted to make this song, and that's what we're going to show you now. And just to let you know is that her voice, her humming, It's in the song, but we put an effect on it, so it sounds like this swooshing noise in the background. So she is part of this song. She co-wrote it with me, a ghost, a female from that property when we filmed that show. And this is truly something special, and I wanted to give visual to her and what she went through and what I went through together with her in that journey.
Savor your lips with every breath. Each day I stare down these empty roads. The wind keeps me still without reach, and the chance it'll bring me back to you. Dancing to the sounds of yesterday's song. Now without you, I must endure this all. Heaven feels far, I can't seem to reach. My heart billows and waves to every beat. The screams of mercy I cannot defeat. Will you return me when I'm gone? Somewhere I hope this holds you close. The days draw out memories to tears, reeling in sorrows that once was peace. Dancing to the sounds of yesterday's song. Now we're